But I just want to talk about this movie because when it comes to 80s movies, I hear you guys talk about 80s movies all the time. And I talk about 80s movies all the time, and this one never comes up, but it should. It should be on par with some of those classic 80 films. But this one here has kind of been lost in the 80s. Most of the 80s sci-fi action films, spew sequels, reboots, prequels. But this one action science fiction film, just very little talk. But what action science fiction movie am I talking about? The only one starring Tom Selleck.
Hey, you got that floater yet?
At the time of the release in 1984, Tom Selleck was at the peak of his career playing Thomas Magnum on the CBS hit show Magnum P.I., one of the best television shows of the 80s. This was Tom Selleck's time to turn that TV career into a movie career. The film also starred Gene Simmons. Yes, Gene Simmons. This one, not that one. And yes, that's the same Gene Simmons from the rock band Kiss. Some of you may be worried right now saying, oh no, that's Gene Simmons. I saw him acting Kiss Meets of the Phantom of the Park. But wait, hear me out. Gene Simmons is actually great in this. He plays one of the best 80s villains. Now, I'm not going to sit there and say he's one of the best actors, but he just looks like a villain, and he plays the part well enough. The film was written and directed by Michael Crichton, who, as you know, in the 80s would become more well known for the writer of Jurassic Park. But of course, he's written a lot of books that we all love. The film takes place in the not-so-distant future. No year of the film is ever given, which I think helps the film today. If this film was set in the future of 1999, it would make it feel more dated. But being that we were never given a year, it doesn't hold the future setting back. In this future world, robots are now the key to everything to make life easier. They help with work, they help with home, they help with everything. Well, that is until one of them malfunctions. Then it can turn to be in danger to anyone near it. The broken robots are known as runaways. To handle these rogue, broken robots, a division of the police force was created to capture the robots and to see they are safely disposed of or fixed. To many on the inside of the police force, this robot task force is a joke. Everyone laughs at them. Tom Selleck plays Sergeant Jack Ramsey, who is a veteran police officer who has joined the runaway program due to an incident where a lawbreaker escaped due to Ramsey's fear of height. That would also lead to a family being killed by the escaped lawbreaker. Ramsey has taken under his wing a new partner, Karen Thompson. She's a robot expert, something lacking even in the robot task force. Karen's really excited about her new role in the task force, but she has to be reminded by Ramsey that mostly all they do is find a robot and flip a switch. It's not the exciting job she thinks it will be. But very early on, she does get the excitement she hoped for when they are called to a home due to a runaway robot that has murdered a family with a kitchen knife and a gun. I know, this sounds really stupid, but trust me, it's not. Well, it's 80s silly, but it's really exciting. Once Ramsey stops the robot, he finds a strange circuit that has been added to the robot that overwrites its safety feature and has been reprogrammed for the robot to kill the family. This isn't just some hacked robot, it's a master chip placed in the robot that's being mass produced. Ramsey and his new partner decide to investigate and find out who's producing these chips. This leads them to Dr. Charles Luther, a defense contractor played by Gene Simmons. He had been working to develop a program that would allow robots to identify a human from a mist undercover, even know what human it is undercover. Seeing how this would have a huge profit, Luther kills his fellow researchers and attempts to sell the program on the black market. If that's not evil, I don't know what is. Ramsey and Karen try to take him in, but they have a gun battle, and during this battle Karen is shot in the arm. Don't worry, she'll be okay. But at the hospital they remove the bullet from her arm, and that's when they find out this isn't just any bullet, it's a smart bullet. It's like a mini heat-seeking missile. Once it locates the human target, there's no getting away from it, unless you get lucky and a duck at the right time. During their investigation, they find Jackie Rogers, played by Kirstie Alley. That's right, Kirstie Alley, from Madhouse. She is the former lover of the evil Luther. She had double-crossed him and stole the circuit templates and planned to sell them herself. But she's in fear that Luther will try to kill her, so Ramsey sets up a plan. He will use Jackie as bait. To their shock, Luther uses a robot bomb to blow up their police convoy. However, before the robot bomb can reach the convoy, Ramsey finds a device used to track them in Jackie's purse. He throws it out the window right in time. I know, this sounds really dumb, but trust me, it's not. It's not dumb at all. This draws Luther out. Ramsey takes Jackie out to a public restaurant, but what Ramsey doesn't know is that Luther has captured his partner Karen, and he wants to exchange her for his former lover Jackie. Fearing that she'll be killed by the demon member of KISS, Jackie gives the stolen templates to Ramsey. Soon after, a gunfight breaks out in the restaurant, and Ramsey is able to escape. Luther then uses the police computer to discover everything he can about Ramsey, and he finds out he has a son. And then Ramsey finds out that Luther has been there and hacked into the files at the police station, and he knows now that Ramsey knows of his son. And then he rushes home to find his kid before the guy that spits fire from KISS does. He arrives at his house to find the family robot broken, and his son Bobby is missing. God, this sounds so dumb talking about it, but trust me, it's not. It's really good. Ramsey then gets a phone call from Luther and wants to give him back his son for the templates. Ramsey goes to meet Luther at the top of an unfinished skyscraper. There, Ramsey makes the trade with Luther, and Bobby heads down the skyscraper elevator. And that's when Luther does what all good villains in movies do, tells him his plan.
I can't have any witnesses, it's too messy. The spiders have been programmed to kill the first person that comes out of the elevator. Oh, they'll let you in, but they won't let you out, and there's nothing you can do about it, Sergeant.
Below them are robot-like spiders that will inject the first person getting off the elevator with acid. Trust me, it's not as bad as it sounds. This is really good. A gunfight breaks out and Ramsey jumps on top of the elevator, causing it to speed up. Now, I'm not going to get into spoilers, although there's been some spoilers here already. I will just say those spider robots give Magnum a really hard time. And as you know, he's scared of being up high. So he's on this skyscraper that's not through being constructed yet, flying down the elevator with acid spider robots after him. Tell me you don't want to see that. But after this exciting fight, the movie does come to an end. Now I know this sounds really dumb, but trust me, it's not. Now I'm not going to sit here and say this is the greatest action science fiction movie of the 80s. It's not. And it's not as good as something maybe like Terminator, but it's pretty high up there when it comes to 80s sci-fi action movies. And it really needs to be talked about more today. Maybe it wouldn't have been forgotten if they had sequels to it, but sadly the movie bombed at the box office. I mean, this is 1984, it did have a lot of competition, such as The Terminator. Now, soon after this movie was released and bombed, it showed up on HBO, and I think HBO showed it about 12 times a week. This thing was always on HBO. So if you were a kid in the 80s, you had HBO, you were sick from school, you watched Runaway. And you really was excited when you turned on HBO, and it was at that end battle on the skyscraper. That's what this whole movie's leading up to, and that's the most fun part of this movie. Sure, the movie in parts is kind of cliche and kind of silly, and the acting from Gene Simmons is okay, but it's not perfect. Overall, the movie's just a lot of fun. And still, I don't see why this movie's not talked about today. And I said it before, I'll say it again. No, this isn't the best movie of the 80s. But if you're looking for a science fiction thriller of the 80s, this is one that needs to be on your watch list. Well, I know I usually don't do movie reviews, but I really wanted to talk about this. I've mentioned it before in some videos, and some people out there say, yeah, I love that. And a lot of people say, I don't know what that is. I'm sure you can rent it or buy it online somewhere digitally, and you probably could buy a disc of it, probably pretty cheaply. If you did see the movie, please in the comments let me know how you liked it, or maybe you hated it. Let me know why you hated it. If you've never seen it, and you see it after watching this video, come back and let me know what you thought of it. I just really wish we got an action figure based on this line. Who wouldn't have loved that? A Tom Selleck and Gene Simmons action figure? Not to mention a Kirstie Alley action figure. And those robot spiders would have been awesome to have as a toy. Anyway, this is a look at Tom Selleck's best science fiction action thriller of the 80s, Runaway.
Hey, Junkman channel popping though.
Thank you, sir, for that unsolicited testimony.